So I just came off of playing Game 9 of the Shootaround Season Finals. I knew this was going to be a very hard one, and given the activity that it is, especially going to the next couple of games, who knows if I may come close to winning my first title ever, or the other way around, which is be on the verge of elimination and be eliminated. Now, I will get to the elimination part and how I will perceive it in a minute. But just to quickly react to this game, don't let the box scores fool you. Yeah, the first half I was down 47-42. I mean, if you were not watching the game live, then if you're only looking at the box score, you would think that was, a very competitive game. It looks competitive because it was only a 5-point deficit that I had to face, right? And especially the overall result, the final game result, which I will get to in a moment. But this was all catch-up games, man. It was all about catching up. It was just more of a catch-up game than anything else. I think if you saw from the beginning, I missed what was the target score before I made the 4? I think it was 45-0, right? So I was missing threes left and right, and of course with how I was attempting my threes, 100 game style, going on each side to shoot or to attempt a 3, it was going to be much tougher. And actually, when it comes to threes, I've actually made more half-court shots and 4s than I ever did threes. I think I only made one regular 3. That was that. But yeah, I made my first 3, which was a 4-pointer, and obviously that got me the mid-range advantage. And from there, I started to cut that lead from 45 to 27, if I'm not mistaken, right? And yeah, because I missed the regular mid-range jumper, and then I called the second timeout, and I made another a half-court shot, right? So I made a half-court shot, and I think from there, I think I made my first half-court shot off of the first timeout when I was down 15 or 45. Or something like that. I know I made my first half-court shot in the first time out, and then the second time out I did the same thing that trimmed the lead to 5 when I was down by 10. After my second mid-range advantage, right? So for the most part, with those 2 half-court shots, I was able to make the game close. So yeah, by the end of the first half, it became a close game. And the second half, it's a weird kind of game that I made it close, and next thing you know, I was on a drought again, just missing too many threes, right? One of them that just rimmed off, that was a 4-pointer, and ultimately I went down 45-71 before I proceeded to make the the 4-point shot, which would be cut it to 49-71, and then the mid-range advantage. And from there, I actually got it down to just I had it down to just 8, right? So I called my second timeout, and I played smart in that one. Where I was not smart, I've actually here's the one thing I will regret about the game. Everything else was pretty much pretty much fair decisioning. But the one thing I could have done instead, I could have just played smart. I could have just played smart, and I could have just played smart. 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 And look, I know I can say that I've been making my half court shots off of a bunch of these timeouts, especially going back to game 6, which was that video game like performance that got me to win by 9. You know what I'm saying? So in this one, I decided to shoot threes. I missed both half court shots. Well, actually, I think the first was a half court shot. The other one was a 4 in an attempt to do another mid-range advantage, if I'm not mistaken. So I missed that. I missed those, and I had no choice left but to make the mid-range shots, and which I was able to stick to the mid-range this whole time, for the remaining under a minute left, and I'm missing a whole lot of them, and I was fortunate I was able to grab the offensive rebound, so I made 3 straight eventually. What was it? Yeah, 65, 67, 69, right? And then I slapped the ball out of bounds, right? And I had 2 seconds left for time for me to attempt another mid-range shot, and I had a good luck with 2 seconds left, but it just didn't go in. So I struggled on the regular mid-range for a majority of this game, but it was close, man. It was close, and for as super hard as this series has been, for me to get this far, I gotta tell you, man, I'm down 4-5 right now. I still have a game 10 to force a game 11. But look, man, even if I were to lose this series, it's gonna be in the moment disappointing, but trust me, it's not really gonna hurt as much. It's not gonna hurt as much as if I were to lose in the first round. Let's say if I did lose game 9 in the first round, and in that it's already an elimination game, right? And just imagine how much more painful that would have been. It would have been obviously more painful than losing in the semifinals last year, where I only won 1 game. But now I've been able to exceed my expectations. Getting past the semifinals, and swept the Willow Park Series BER Season Finals, and now I'm getting to the finals, where I thought after the first game, it looks like a series where I may only be able to win a couple of games in general, right? But to tie the series at 4-4, and now that I lost, to be down 4-5, I gotta tell you, dude, I've accomplished a whole lot. So this tells me that even though I lost the series, I still got to be proud that I made it this far, right? So it has to feel good, even though I lost the series. Now look, because I am in the finals, you would think, man, I've come a long ways and I still lost. Hell, the finals, man, it's one team can only win it, right? The other team just loses, and hey, all they gotta do is just get better going to next year, right? Some teams are like that. Some teams, unfortunately, are regressing. But for the most part, for me, the way I look at this is that it's not going to feel so much of a disappointment. I would actually be proud that I even made it this far. I mean, I really got nothing much to lose, and even though I may lose game 10 or 11, considering that was the final game of the shoot-around finals, but hey, I mean, either way, I still gotta say, man, I've came this far. This has got to be a huge accomplishment. 2 swept series, semifinals and the finals, the BER Season Finals, and now for me to get this far, when I thought myself, as well as many people, thought that I may only win a couple of games, and look how far I got. 4 games won. So 4 is already more than expected, right? So hey, at least if I get to a game 10 and lose, or get to a game 11 and lose, you know what? It's all good, because I can finally get into the off season and just really enjoy the great memories I've had in the entire, not just the entire shoot-around season, but the entire BER season as well. Considering it's already been 3 months that I've been playing in the BER Season Tournament. I was like, damn, I came this far, dude. So yeah, man, I got a lot to be proud of. Even though I win or lose this series, I got a lot to be proud of. All right. So yeah, this is how I look at it. You know, from the standpoint of how much I've accomplished, how far I've come, and exceeding expectations. So that being said, man, yeah. So I'm just looking on the bright side here. I know I'm having a really rough January, but you know, this will not be. I mean, yeah, it's gonna feel pretty rough in the moment that I lose, but you know, no matter how I lose the game, but in the end, I gotta say, man, I came this far, and so I'm just gonna probably get into the 1 or 2 month off season, maybe just 1 month, I guess, and then I'll get back into the groove, right? And you know, just be ready for the next season, and I'll talk about that, you know, as during the entirety of the off season. So let me know what you guys think, man. I'm gonna get back to my dump right now. So peace.